Hello, everyone. Whew. I'm having an adventure today. Totally fine. You all might be picking up some doubling of music, so just fair warning. Let's switch over to chatting. Hi. Hello. Hi, everyone. It's Monday. Hey, Leaf. Hi, Tom. Hi, Tanya. If I roll backwards, you all might get to see Susie. Hold on. The problem is the table's in the way. I am also going to apologize because I've been unexpectedly coughing a lot in the, last 5 minutes. So. But hi, everyone. There's a Susie here. Hey, Melissa. Susie. It's one of those moments where you're like, I feel like I'm choking on nothing, and it's just... no, once upon a time she had a greenish collar, and only in the past couple of weeks did I switch her over to a pink color. Let me roll backwards again. Come here, Susie. One of the people who has worked at the daycare Susie goes to for years, took a different job, but loved Susie greatly, and so was like, can I buy her a gift? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And so she got her a collar to pop out, color-wise, because hers was looking kind of sad. I've had Susie for almost 7 years now, and it's the same collar I bought for her originally. So she picked this fun pink design, and I was like, that's cute. You all can't always see it. I don't know how well the camera's working. But even if you cannot see her body, because she keeps walking out of camera frame, her tail is absolutely getting me. So hi, it's Monday. I'm running very behind. It took a little bit longer to cook than I expected. Well, let me rephrase that. The cooking was on time except for the rice. I did not properly time for the rice. So in a couple of minutes, my timer for the rice cooker is going to go off, and we are going to take a short break for me to go put my meal together, and then we will sit here and chat. Susie's doing her best. I also bought her a new harness because hers is starting to literally come apart at the seams. So I need to get that fitted to her, and we will swap her over. That is blue though. That is not pink. Pink was unfortunately not an option. And I have mixed feelings about it because I'm like, my goal is that you're wearing something I like, so I always put her in my favorite colors. The downside is then everybody assumes because she's not wearing pink that she is a boy and not a girl, and that is the classic, unfortunate challenge of clothing a dog. Equipping a dog, is that the better phrase? But hi, I hope everyone's doing well. Susie can't start a stream without getting pets. You all can't tell because her butt is off screen, but her tail is still wagging. So, I had an adventure yesterday, and that was fun. Yeah, it's right up there with people who think all cats are girls and our dogs are boys. I get that you just, default to whatever, I guess, gender term is most default to you, which for a lot of people is male. Think about how much we typically say things like guys or boys or what have you, as a generic term to also encompass women or girls. But she's very funny too because she's kind of still obnoxious. Listen, Tom, I gotta accessorize something, so it might as well be the dog. But so we're gonna wait for the rice timer to go off. We'll take a short break. I finished cooking everything else. I made, a pretty basic, tofu and spinach stir fry today. Cause I had tofu to use and I kept forgetting. And I was like, I need to make it, and I literally have nothing else to cook in my apartment right now. So tomorrow, when I don't have a stream, we're going grocery shopping. So we'll have a little bit more of a chatting start tonight because I need to food. And obviously Susie needs to get her pets. I'm going to talk you all through. So I thought I was going to get it done yesterday. I had way more challenges than I expected, which was actually not technically the fault of the project, but I am nearly finished. Oh, abandoned so quickly. Her bed's out in the hallway right now because I had to move it out of the way. But I have been doing the test build of the pickleball bag, so we are definitely going to finish that on stream tonight. And then I had hoped to get the official build for the pickleball bag put together, or at least cut out so that we could be sewing it on stream, but that didn't happen. So you know what we're going to do instead? We're going to decide at that moment. We will either cut the fabric for the pickleball bag. Now that I've done it once, I should be able to do it faster. Or alternatively, I have everything cut out and has been cut out now for weeks for a bomber jacket, so we could also start there's the rice timer, start that. We'll see. Alright, hold on y'all. I'm gonna switch us to BRB. I'm gonna keep talking at you, but I'm gonna swap us to BRB so I can go, fill my bowl real quick, because food is important and everybody should feed themselves and stay hydrated. What you all can't tell is she's at a, like, perfect angle to be staring at me off camera for you all, but where I can see her from her bed in the hallway. The issue was that I kept rolling the table around yesterday, and I kept almost rolling over her bed and herself. So I moved the bed into the hallway so that I would not accidentally hurt Susie in the process of attempting to make this bag. Yay, rice. I need to pick up some sticky rice is really what I need. Rice. I'm very excited about this, y'all. I've actually had this tofu. I meant to try something different with the tofu, and then I just haven't had the energy, and then I realized I didn't have what I needed to do that, so we're just doing whatever I can here. Listen, the fact that I even cooked is a miracle. Because at first I was like, I'll just make a frozen pizza. Realizes I have 0 frozen pizzas. There was no frozen pizza to be had. Well, this is not quite, it's just, here we go. This will be better. This will work better. Just top it off with just a little bit of soy sauce. Just a little, just a dash. Alright. Yay. Food. I should pat myself on the back for making dinner. Exactly. Alright. So back to just chatting. I have not made my go live tweets, oops, or messages or whatever. But, so, tofu, spinach, green onions, garlic, ginger. I was supposed to use either chili paste or chili flakes, but I didn't have either, so I used a little bit of chili powder. With a bunch of soy sauce. Well, I shouldn't say bunch. A decent amount of soy sauce. Normally, I would use chopsticks, but for the efficiency of the fact that we're on stream. And we do want to get to sewing tonight. So yeah. I saw a recipe, for breading the tofu and then frying it, which I thought was interesting. I've never breaded tofu before. So anyways, I wish I'd had more spinach. The recipe I was using, super, super basic, like a super easy cook, was supposed to use 10 ounces of spinach, but I only had a container of like 4 ounces, so. Food stream with chatting, maybe some sewing involved. So let me show you all where we're at on the pickleball bag. So, we're actually near the end of the test build. So here's the front. You have little elasticy pouches in the front. There's a zipper here. So this is a pouch for the actual pickleball racket. Got a little loop here in the front. I've just recently attached these pieces for the center. So actually, realistically, all that is left on this test build, I'm going to take the serger to this seam that I have just sewn the pieces, this gusset together. So we're going to take a serger to this open thing. And then the back already has pockets. Our part of our strap, our D-rings. So essentially we're just going to sew this to that. And then all that'll be left is actually making the rest of the strap, which should be relatively easy. Very little sewing involved. So we are actually very close to the finish of this one. I had hoped I would get it done last night, and then I was having challenges. I also accidentally stabbed myself on my thumb. I took a pin like through the edge of it, and there was bleeding involved, and I was like, well, I should probably not get blood on everything. There was certainly cursing. As Nightbot reminds us, we are fundraising very casually for St. Jude during May. Part of St. Jude Play Live. So one of the things that made this not get finished yesterday, that was very interesting. So I actually cut it yesterday, and I sewed all of this yesterday. And I thought I was going to finish. And the problem I ran into in this test build is that for the very first time, I was using zipper by the yard. So typically when you all have seen me sew with a zipper, it is an individual zipper that I purchased at a shop. It has a stop at the end. It has stops at the top. It is all enclosed one zipper by itself. This time, for ease of cost, hello, yes, you're sitting. Do you want me to bring your bed in closer? I had a backlog of zipper by the yard. So essentially, it's a really long. Most people sell this in either shops that sell zipper tape. Sell it in either 1, 3, or 5 yard rolls. Sometimes a little bit more. This is a 3 yard roll. or it was a 3-yard roll. And I was like, oh, this will be simple. It's not that different from a regular zipper. Well, I lied. Because you have to put your own zipper pulls on it, and then you got to figure out starting and stopping if it's not going to be an enclosed zipper. So, on the body of this, if you look at it, the zipper is all enclosed. This side ends with fabric. This side also ends with fabric. So it is naturally closed as a zipper by the rest of the build. The problem is, this little zipper on the front that's part of the bag for the pickleball racket did not. So there was a whole lot of comedies. And then I messed up putting the zipper pulls on, which was a whole separate thing. I lost a lot of time to watching multiple videos of how to deal with zippers by the yard, like zipper tape by the yard, and putting zipper pulls on and then enclosing it. After I tried and failed to do it because I thought it would be easy. That was my mistake. Let me see if I can turn. Y'all can't tell, but there's darkness there in the hallway, like right behind the Joanne bag. That's where Susie is right now, staring at me. We've also switched our playlist back over to the elevator. Because the first song that came on for the main character playlist was going way too hard, and I was like, this is not the energy I need for tonight. It was like we were going into a fight. Come here. I'll bring you closer. Scoot, scoot, scoot. Thank you. Hold on. You can be in the doorway. I will give you a treat. Yes, so I have acquired new zipper skills, which was part of the goal. She's staring very hard. Because of a bunch of really cool zipper tapes that I kept acquiring because I kept going, I'm gonna make some bags, and then I kept getting distracted by other projects and not making bags. So, I'm also the worst of the, like that dragon meme of hoarding consumables. Like, I have to keep all the consumables because what if I need them? But anytime I need them, I'm like, but if I use them now, I won't have them for later if I need them. That's me with zipper supplies, with sewing supplies. Even this tape cost me like $2, $2 or $3 for 3 yards. And at first I thought I had a different one. A zipper I bought for a project that was a regular zipper. Not zipper tape. I thought was a zipper tape that I bought. So I was looking at all of my supplies and was like, well, all I have are these ones I bought for other things. I don't want to use this on these projects because they're test projects and also the colors don't quite match. Before I was like, well, it's like, no, I can use it. It only cost me a couple bucks. It's not that fancy. It's not that big a deal. Let me go take a look and I will tell you how many zipper tapes I have. So counting that one, which is a gunmetal on I believe white, I have a rose gold on ivory, I have a rainbow on white. I also have both rose gold and rainbow zipper pulls that will go with those. And then here's the ones that I've had for a while thinking I was going to make some stuff. I have, it stars on a white, but when you flash a light on these, they light up, so they're, holographic? Is that the right phrase? So I have stars on white. I have spooky skulls, and actually you can see it here in the light, with the light. So when there's no light on them, these are just like a black on black almost. So it's spooky. There's bats, ghosts, skulls, crossbones, what have you on this one. So I have the spooky on black. I have the stars on white. Let me see if I bring it closer. Will it actually? Little harder to see on the stars. Not quite as poppin'. I have a black and a white as like a zigzag. They do the same thing, but the black is a little bit easier to pick out here with the light reflecting off of it. So I have a black and a white. These are all 3 yards each. And then I have like this hexagon zipper tape, also in a black and a white, because balance in all things, y'all. If I bought one, I have to buy the other. Oh, and then these are not zipper tape. Never mind, those are webbing. So these I bought for like when I'm making the official bags, and then the other ones were like, oh, those will be my test ones. But I'm looking at it going, I don't have the one I thought that I had. I can't use these. These are nice. And it's like, actually, they're not. The like gunmetal that I'm using on the ivory, I think, was literally a couple bucks, if that. Second, each bag is about a yard of the pickleball bags, because we're doing about a 24-inch zipper and then a 6 to 8-inch zipper. So it ends up being shorter than a yard, but we'll just say about a yard. Remember, I have this. I have 2 more that are like this. And then I have 6. 3 yards each. That's 18 yards. Plus these is another 9 yards. I could make 27 plus bags. From all the zipper tape I've been buying. But yes, so, because I'm forgetful, let me go actually put my hand live. None of these are what I want. There we go. Sometimes I pretend like I'm more put together, but the reality is I'm totally not. I just pretend like I'm a fully functioning adult. But so the bag, all said and done, wasn't taking that much time despite my challenges. But then I stabbed myself, and that was unfortunate. And it's just like awkwardly on the side of my thumb, where 1, it was bleeding onto stuff, and then 2, or it had the risk to bleed onto stuff, and then 2, it annoys me because I have to keep using my thumb. That is not what I meant to do. So we didn't finish the bag, but it's looking solid. So there's a couple of things I've been learning. So first off, you need to be more precise, and by you, I mean I need to be more precise when I cut the fabric for bags. So your seam allowances are smaller, and I was kind of treating it like clothes, where I'm like, no, seam allowance is like a guide. No, you can mess up the bag if your seam allowance isn't correct. Which means I need to try and cut more precisely than I did. I had an adventure with the start of the strap, the like shoulder bit that's a little bit thicker, because you put in batting, it's almost like you're doing quilting on it. And I was very freehand, like, oh, this won't be too bad, it'll be fine, like, I can just put this here and I'll turn it inside out. No. I need to do better. Hi, DC, welcome in. I shouldn't say do better, but, like, again, I was treating everything the way that I either treat quilting or clothing when I'm sewing, and that is not how I should treat bags. And I can see it in some of the things where I'm like, oh, this doesn't quite line up. Or the finishing details on this aren't great. Yeah, so if we do cutting on the other bag tonight, we're gonna need to be a little bit more on top. Like, I was like, nah, I took the rotary cutter and I was just like going around it, and I'm like, alright, for the more precise one, the official gift for my dad for his birthday, I will, we're gonna take the scissors to that. Like, it's probably not really noticeable to you all when you're initially looking at this, but I can very easily tell that, like, this is off. Just a tiny bit. It's supposed to be even all the way across. It's actually not. Like, this section ended up being, like, 1/4 of an inch short. But this is supposed to go smoothly across. It did not. But, like, it's not doing too bad. I feel like I'm doing alright. I didn't completely botch it. It's just, like, not as polished looking on some of the smaller details. Which, like, that's on me. I also was a little okay, like, I wasn't paying as much attention to detail, because I knew that this was a test build. So the whole goal of this build was for me to go through the process of making the bag and figure out the areas I needed to pay better attention to when I sew the final for my dad. And, like, I haven't done a ton of bag making, so this is also practice with that. Because the next goal, or the next 2 projects, but it's still visible to me, Leaf. It is a small difference, thank you. Hey, Prax, welcome in. My rice to tofu ratio was not precise in my serving. But yeah, so like my whole intent for doing that build first was to figure out. So bags do require a little bit more precision. So a little stricter at sticking to the guides for when I'm cutting, and a little better at sticking to the seam allowance because it's smaller. So most of the time, when we're sewing clothes, the seam allowance tends to be 5/8. On bags, you tend to be working with either 3/8 or a 1/2 inch. So like this one is a 3/8 seam allowance. So you have less to work with to begin with. And then there's just like some finishing touches where I was like, no, I don't need to do this because I have the serger. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, ooh, maybe this would have been better with the finishing touch. Not because the serger is bad, or makes it look bad or anything. The serger, I think, does what it's supposed to do. I just think in the context of the usage, serging the raw edges on a bag versus serging them, that won't be hidden in the bag, I should say, versus serging them, or putting basically like a bias tape around the edge to hide the raw edge. It's like it's the use case where like you're doing sports, you're going to be throwing stuff in, taking it out, what have you. It's more likely for little things to get caught on that thread than it is if it's just enclosed. So, like, that was a little bit of a learning. But again, this was the test build. And, like, I don't have a need for a pickleball bag, so I'll actually be taking both and be like, Dad, here, have an extra bag. Give it to somebody you like. So. But I hope everybody's doing alright and you had a decent weekend. I think I'm mostly just, I realized how many self-imposed deadlines I gave myself, and I was like, why did I do this? But then, if I had not struggled so much, with like the zippers and, you know, this first time with the construction, it probably would have gone faster, but like, we're gonna finish that tonight. So I'm gonna basically completed it in less than 24 hours. It takes like, I'd say an hour and a half, 2 hours to cut all of the fabric you need. Exterior, interior, the liner, the interfacing, iron the interfacing pieces, and the actual sewing itself once you get going. Now that I know what I'm doing. For the second build, I will probably finish, if not tomorrow night, then Wednesday. And then we'll move on to the bags I want to make for myself. I'm going to do a test bag with a vinyl. Much like this, and assuming that I don't run into too much difficulty, I will do the real build. Yay, DC, good weekend, moved to new office space, yay! And now I have a future crafting area, also yay, says this as a crafter. Ooh, Gen Con event tickets! I kept thinking I might do Gen Con, and now I think it's just not gonna, I haven't planned far enough. And Gen Con's one of those ones where it's like, you need to book it. You have to buy your tickets because I don't think you can book a hotel until you have a confirmed, like, ticket. Is that the correct one? I'm too much of a decides to show up, or that I'm going to show up like 2 weeks before. Planning in advance is not really a thing I'm great at. Alright, hold on. The music froze. So music gonna be fresh. Let me, take my bowl back to the kitchen, now that I've had delicious, delicious tofu. And we are gonna get to sewing. So I at least feel good that I only have a couple weeks to go, but I'm fairly confident, I shouldn't say fairly, I'm confident that at least my dad's gift will be done. Whether I get to the rest of my projects that I told myself I was going to make before, or make for my cruise, well, that's a question mark. But I at least want to make the bag for myself, because I've been promising that for so freaking long. Alright. We are probably not going to go super long tonight. Well, super long in the sense of we ain't going to be here until 11, y'all. We will finish our bag. We will probably start cutting our next bag. Alright. Move you over here. And move you over here. Oh, that's even worse, DC. Alright, so let's swap over to crafting. We are... We're back. Turn the light this way. Alright. I also finished nearly finished. For this, I was talking about it, I think, in one of the chats. I pulled out 2 of the pleats so the pants fit better. I finished the bottom hem on the pant legs, which I need to clean up. And all I have left to do is I need to put a hook and bar here at the top of the zipper and also then stitch this down, and the pants will be 100% done and will actually fit decently. And that I will not be squeezing myself into them impractically is how I might better phrase that. All right, so 1 second, let me look at. But yeah, I feel like this is worse. So it's like you buy a ticket so you can enter a lottery and maybe get a nearby hotel. I really wonder what the foot traffic is on Gen Con. Gen Con's what, August? That's true. It is the 50th anniversary, which I'm sure is making everything wilder. Also, I don't remember where I was at. I shouldn't say where I was at. No, we talked about hair last time. I'm due to get my hair cut on Saturday. Alright. So. I've sewn the gusset with the zipper here to the front of the bag. Actually need to run it through. I need to run it through the serger since I'm not enclosing. It'll probably take me longer to do the bag for my dad. Even though technically I will know what I'm doing and because I will give it the time it needs for me to, I'm sorry, Susie, for me to do it right. So it'll look a little bit more polished than this one, which is the test build. That's what I thought. I was pretty sure it was August. Alright. So basically we're just going to pick a spot and we're going to run the serger through. The noise from the serger get picked up by the mic, by the way. I'm very interested in if it's like obnoxiously loud. Alright. Push that back into the corner. Alright. So. Y'all remember, the serger helps us clean up kind of our raw edges here. It's finishing. So we've taken this and stitch it. And again, it's not bad. It's just potentially easy for it to catch on stuff. Yay for dinner, Melissa. All right. So we have now stitched over to this view. stitch the full inside with our lovely, lovely serger. So worth the cost. It's loud but not painfully, so I appreciate that. Alright. So let me take a look at the instructions. This is gonna be fun. Okay. Hey, Cole, welcome in. Stitching time saves 9 pickleballs. It's funny, they had... Where did I put them? They called me, and they're like, oh, they dropped off one other thing from the serger that they forgot when they, like, brought all the pieces in. We're gonna put it at the desk for you. Come by anytime, pick it up. And I was like, what else could there be? And I thought it was, like, maybe a foot or something that was missing. No. It's a frickin' inspirational guide. Explore all the techniques and accessories that will make your serging experience with the Baby Lock Victory not only enjoyable, but also inspiring. And so I have the instruction booklet already. And this is a list of different ways you can do things with the different types of stitches. So, you know, inserting zippers with a 4th thread overlock, with the idea that it helps you learn to do things and get inspired along the way, which is absolutely wild. Like, there's even the thing here with the 3-thread rolled edge to attach single beads and charms. What? So anyways, I swung by on Friday and picked that up. I was like, I don't remember what it is. She left me a message. I've forgotten, but like, and they're like, yeah, we got you. Alright, so, next up is we have the 2 pieces, y'all. And I am going to first open our zipper, because we will have to birth our bag through it. And then second, we are now going to take, I really appreciate that it's like, put the right sides together, and what they mean is the exterior sides. So we're putting our exteriors together. We are going to line up the rest of this. Has my music stopped again, or are we just between songs? The funny thing here is this does not have any markings. So it should be right about here. All of it's enclosed, I can't tell! We're just gonna pretend. So this is the side where I'm a little confused, where I'm like, I don't have all of the markings I need. Surging Seamster Sorceress. I appreciate your alliteration here. Yeah, becomes manhandle it into shape. I will say that's the one thing is this particular build, they're like, oh, just put bias tape on everything to like close your raw edges. Which sounds fine theoretically, but then when you've added an extra layer of fabric on each side of a seam or a raw edge, it starts to become a little problematic, because then you're trying to sew through like 8 edges. Alright, this is probably going to be interesting, y'all. My gusset here was not quite big enough. It needed I lost, this is when we talk about, like, needing to make sure that stuff is properly cut, is that I definitely ended up with, my lining and my exterior pieces not quite being to size with each other. They were when I cut, but they weren't once I started actually attaching things. And so, I'll turn the camera so y'all can see what I'm doing here. And so it became a little bit of a, like, ooh, this is like half an inch short because I kind of botched that. I think technically in some of these places I was supposed to have put like halfway markings, but you know what? We do what we want. Alright. But yeah, I definitely had moments where I was like, I appreciate that you want to add, like, you want to close everything with either bias tape or fold over elastic, but also that's not realistic for the bulk of this. The other thing is, in some of these places, like this, the strap at the top is very stiff, and so it's making this not quite fit the way we want. Totally fine. And then we are gonna take and ease this little extra bit here along the way. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be good enough. When you get into pleathers or leathers, thickness matters. Exactly. Okay, well, here's the thing. These two particular bags, or this first pickleball bag build, and then the next one, are both using, like, a thicker cotton. So this is actually, the exterior of this bag, which you cannot see right now because I've enclosed the bulk of it, is actually the poly cotton that we used on the pants. It's the brown of the pants, y'all, that we were making last week. And because it's heavy, I thought it would work, and I had fabric left over. The fabric for the final for my dad's bag is a cotton canvas. So a thicker cotton, but still cotton. The next bag that I want to do, that will be for myself, and that'll probably be Thursday's stream, unless I have not finished this stuff, which is also entirely possible, will be vinyl, which is absolutely going to make things interesting. Oh, this is going to be... Just get out of the way. I should have... Well, too late now. I should have put that strap into... So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Fierce Kittens has actually been in addition to Imperial, Fierce Kittens is one of the other, like, sewing goals creators that, like, either streams and or posts YouTube videos where I'm like, yes, I would like to be like you one day. That makes sense. I've been looking at a couple of videos where it's like, oh, here's what you can do with just, like, some leftover fabric. And it is very much in, like, Imperial measurements, and I'm going, will this work the same way if I convert it? Not for bags, though. Alright. Alright, y'all. We're about to get... Oh, I didn't turn it again, sorry. The other thing is that I realized the default for my straight stitch goes to a 2.2 stitch length, and I tend to like working better in like the 2.5 range. So early on I was like, why are all of my stitches so tiny? And then it was like, oh, because I'm just using whatever the machine defaults to. Oh, that's a little uneven, but it'll be fine. Okay, this is the test build for a reason. And it's so I can mess up stuff like this. And figure out how to do it better next time. Also, like, bags with small gussets are very awkward. Me, this gusset is tiny. Why is it having... I feel like I need a third hand so that I can hold this bag in very awkward positions. Like this. So one thing, like, the way this all kind of maneuvers is... a little bit awkward. But this also just kind of feels like how bags work. Is kind of what I feel like this is. Especially because I have like these awkward pockets on the inside that I'm trying to work around. Or the singular awkward pocket, I should say. Come on, cooperate with me. Totally fine. Nothing to be concerned about here. This is just... how bag making goes, apparently. I had to back it up because it was uneven. Alright, cool. So now that we've had that really awkward path around. See the news? Yes, I did. Good for her. We have to chop your part and you're clamping. I just have little clips. I just have little plastic clips. They don't really clamp. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's part of... So there were, like, multiple components to the strike. Obviously, there was an AI component to it. And then, of course, there was, in addition to that, there was the whole, like, the move to everything with streaming, takes out things like residuals and how much they get paid based on that. Was it you all that we were talking about, the whole thing with, how it feels like Xbox Game Pass in some places is like at the big or partway through the cycle that streaming services have already got into, which is the platform holder kind of makes the most out of it, and the people doing the individual content or the people involved in the individual content don't make as much from it. Cough, cough, actors, writers, residuals. 6 seconds, yeah, in 10 seconds of voice sampling, they can, there's just so much to it that it's like, nah. Yeah, so the whole thing was she was the voice in the movie Her, which was a, like, I read a short synopsis for context where she was voicing the, computer system, I guess. And that's assumingly why they initially wanted to bring her on. And she said no. The thing is, if you read the, like their letter that they sent or whatever it was, the issue is they asked her, and she said no. And then they reached out and asked her to reconsider just a couple days before the voice assistant stuff went live. And before she could in any way respond, apparently, it had gone live with the AI voice that was basically Scarlett Johansson's voice from her. And he had posted, whatever his name is, the jerk that runs that whole thing that should just, be in jail, had posted a tweet that was literally just her, period. So it was like, you knew exactly what you were doing. You wanted her to do it, and she said no. And you recreated it, and you acknowledged it, considering your reference to that movie, without her permission, and then your product went live with it. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is like the strap, that was part of the problem with the bottom corners, is because I had the webbing there. Alright, so I'm gonna run this through the serger again. I shouldn't say again, we're gonna run it through the serger. It's not again. We're running this part of it through the serger. Made even more awkward now. It's a little awkward. I wasn't completely straight and getting that on, but it's fine. Again, this was the test build. It's actually not how you're supposed to trim the serger thread, but that's how I'm doing it. Alright. Oof. Alright. Now, we're gonna switch back over. Because I left my gap open. So now we've serge thread on one side. Yeah, this is, I got a little off pace there. Serge thread on the other side. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. So now we're gonna pull the whole thing through. Well, really what we're gonna do is we're gonna open it the rest of the way, pull it inside out. Love if Netflix would publish their view because how. Oh no, if you actually, I read an analysis somewhere, Leaf, I'll try to find it and send it to you, which is that one of the problems we've run into is how much is that, like, streaming services like Netflix, because a lot of the deals are based around, oh, well, if you do 2 seasons, this is the residual you get, or if you do this, this is what you get. And so there's, this kind of idea of like, well, they don't renew for a second season, or instead of doing a full season, they do mini seasons and stuff, because they're reducing the amount of time with a writer's room, or they're reducing the size of the writer's room. And then if I forget what the agreement was around, residuals and stuff like that, but like if you don't make it to a second season or a certain number of episodes, well, then they don't gotta pay you residuals in the same way. So it seems to be less about like what's actually working, considering some of the things that have been canceled, and what have you. How much of that is actually because they're not doing well, and more because of finances associated with the people involved, and whether they want to have to pay that. I'll see if I can find that article for you, Leaf. All right. So, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, in fairness, I'm on a domestic sewing machine. I'm just on a nicer one that I just bought. Alright. So, all I need to do now is finish the strap and give it a little bit more shaping and stuff. But we have our bag. So we got our nice little elastic front pockets. You probably could fit a water bottle in there, maybe. Depends on the water bottle. We have our partial zip pouch. This is where you could fit a pickleball racket. Yes, in. Then we have our main body, which is just relatively basic, has a couple pockets. I don't know, put your wallet or something in here. So I have mixed feelings because they have the option for you to put the loop in the front, and that's what they said first, so that's what I did, and now I'm like, I kind of wish the loop was in the back. So I don't know, it's fine. So we have our 2 D-rings here at the bottom. We have the beginning of our strap, so we're going to just be finishing off the strap. That's what we're going to be doing here. So we will turn our camera back over just to crafts. We're going to freaking check our music. All right. So next up, we have so to finish this bag, we have our 24, an extra 13, I don't know, 37. It's not actually supposed to be this long. I think it's supposed to be 30. Also, why did I not? Please use, this is a nylon, so I can burn the edges so it doesn't I'm making it a little bit longer because it's for my dad, and he is, while a similar height, bulkier than me. And I'll just put it on the pieces in such a way to hopefully make it, he can adjust it. So, we have a slider. Which is going to be super easy because we are just basically going to fold it under and stitch it here. We will stitch it with a square. And we are going to, I tend to overdo it on this sort of thing because here's, you know, this is where you get a lot of straps where you end up with a lot of pressure on a project. Now they just say to do the box, but I'm going to do the full X and everything. Now again, since this is my test build, I'm a little less concerned about how pretty it looks. My thread choice of white will make more sense on the final build than it necessarily does here, where my accent piece was black. But, alright. Part 1 done. So, now, through our clip at the end. So that's... Hold on, I did it backwards. Please hold. Alright, hold on. Me being like, how do straps work? Please explain. Nope, I did it backwards again. The way I had it before was right. I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Can I do this right? Is this correct? There we go. Alright, great. Okay, now it's technically correct. I'm just lost in confusion, y'all. Alright, so first we have put on our tri-glide and stitch one side down. We've put it through one end of our buckle and back through our tri-glide, and now we are going to take the end and put our swivel hook on. And then we're going to do the exact same type. Now, technically it says I don't need to do a box here. I'm still going to do the box. Oh, wait, I've gone too far. Right. My music has stopped again, which annoys me. It's not the prettiest, it's not going to be the best looking, but it's going to hold, which is the important part. Alright, all good there. So now we're going to just trim. Alright, so we have clip on one side, tri-glide on one side, our lovely, lovely clip. So we will put this in, clip it onto a side, make this as short as it can possibly go. It'll still be kind of long, but worst comes to worst, he can fix that himself. I say he. That. So, let's check our music again. So back over just chatting. And now, oh no, we're doing it the other way. I have a tendency, based on how I put these. So, here you go. This is our bag. So, Pretzel's just like being difficult is what Pretzel's doing. Pretzel doesn't want to work. So there we go, y'all. We have strap, unclips here, if I should so choose. Alternatively, we also have our swivel hook down here that we can clip unclip. It can go either way. I have a preference for putting stuff over my left shoulder, but because we put a D-ring on both sides, you can clip it to either side. This is just how I prefer to wear it. And so we have our Velcro, we have our racket pocket, and we have our body pocket. So look at that, y'all. We made a pickleball bag. And I only got stabbed a little bit in the process. So well done us. Yes, so allow me to show you all. You can customize the strap. I did this because this was my test build, so I picked the most basic options. We're still gonna have kind of basic options for the other one. But let me show you. As a reminder, this other bag is for my father. So, first off, the exterior will be, if you all remember from our boozy backpack, the flamingos with drinks and sunglasses. So this will be the exterior of the final version for Dad. Our interior lining, because we gotta stay on brand, will be more flamingos. We'll be using the same bits of elastic and things that we're seeing. I have a white netting for the mesh on the front. I still have more of the black if I need it, but we're gonna go with white to be on brand. His strap will be white, which is maybe a terrible idea, but I feel like it fits thematically. And I had limited options for the colors I wanted in the 1.5 inch, which is what that strap should be. But for where the D-rings and the little strap on the front, so for this strap that'll be down the center, and for our little bits of D-rings here, because it was available in a 1 inch, we're back to our obnoxious pink again. See, Coldrake knew we were going for it. Absolutely knew. Welcome in, Raiders. And then all of the same hardware. I have all of the same hardware for this one. Hi, Pirate, welcome in. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was going well. I caught a portion of it, something about Moogles. I was walking the dog and then cooking. But welcome in. Hello, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm LegalX34. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a variety streamer who does crafting and gaming things. A lot of crafting right now. There will be gaming once we get past my vacation because I'm trying to get too many things done in advance of that. Nerd moment. I will not talk about this often because it is work adjacent. This is from Comic-Con 2018, San Diego Comic-Con 2018, which was the I think it was 2018, the 35th anniversary of My Little Pony, and so they did all of the characters of the main 6 of Friendship is Magic in, like, 80s style, and so Rainbow Dash, I'm thinking like Pokemon at the same time. Rainbow Dash got a mohawk and a leather jacket and looks like a punk, and I love it. But welcome in, everyone. Hi, Mithrin. Yeah, the white webbing will be pink when it's done. The one challenge is that these are ones I bought at one of my local shops. They have a wide variety of webbing, just not these obnoxious colors in all of the sizes. So I had very limited options in the 1.5 inch wide webbing. It was like black, white, gray, navy. So I went for white because that was simple. But welcome in, Rithra. Hey, Panda. We love pink, right? You missed the raid, so you can't welcome yourself. Well done, Leaf. Thank you for pressing the button in the resub, Pirate. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, if you ever get to look up, so they did, because that year also for Comic-Con, they did I think it was only 3 of them. I think it was Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, and Twilight Sparkle. As the Comic-Con exclusive in their 80s style. So I think, like, Pinkie Pie is in, like, 80s workout, like, leg warmers, headband kind of stuff. So anyways, for reasons, I could Cole, but that involves more work. He's already getting... Okay, so for everybody who's just come in, we've literally just finished, in like the 2 minutes beforehand that you showed up. Welcome in for the raid. We've just finished the test build. So for those of you that haven't been around the past couple of times, my father's birthday is a couple days before I'm going to be flying in. I'm visiting with them for a few days before I go on my cruise. So, he had asked after seeing the boozy backpack, because I mailed it to my parents, if I would make a bag with that same fabric of the flamingos drinking, and make him a pickleball bag, because he's like, I was gonna use it, but it doesn't quite hold everything, so like, I want a pickleball bag. And I'm like, you asked for the most off-the-wall things, Dad. But I was like, well, maybe one day I'll make it for you. So of course, his birthday is a couple days, it's literally 3 days before. So his birthday's on the Monday, I'm flying in on Thursday. And then the Sunday I get back from the cruise is Father's Day. So I was like, well, I guess I need to be an okay daughter and do the thing for my dad. So I cut the fabric yesterday and started sewing it, and we have just finished here on stream the test build of my pickleball bag for my dad. Which I don't have a command for it, but it is the Ace Sling Bag by Green Style, which I'm happy to give anybody a link if they would like. So, here is our test bag. This is what it looks like. This bag comes with 2 elasticy mesh pockets in the front. It comes with a racket pocket, which on this side will zip open and give you a little more space to put your rackets in and out. Definitely 1, maybe 2 if you want it really tight. And then finally, you have a full-size center pocket, which you could also put more mesh in. The problem, Cole, is that I do not have a pickle, a ball, and a racket to put in here because I own none of those things. The only thing I could put in here is like a tennis ball. And I guess I could find a racket. So we've just literally completed, this was a test build to make sure that I knew what I was doing and I could figure it out before I use the fabric. And here's the thing, the fabric for his final is not exceedingly expensive fabric, but I didn't want the test build to be with the final fabric. So he's actually gonna get 2 because I do not play pickleball and I have no reason to have a pickleball bag. So the test build is going with me, or is going as well, and will get left there. And he can decide whether he wants to keep it or if he wants to gift it to somebody he likes from his racquetball buddies, or from his pickleball buddies. But so we are basically going to be recreating this exact same thing. I was just showing it off. You all came in on the pink. Using pink and white rubbing instead of black. White mesh. Same elastic, which is what we had before. Flamingos for the interior. And boozy flamingos drinking and eating ice cream and hanging out with sunglasses on for the exterior. He's going to be very excited about the flamingo. So that's what we're going to do next. But I have to cut all the fabric first. Actually, what I might do for you all, because I think it might be more fun to sew that one on stream. What I might do is cut the fabric tonight, put it all together, have it ready to go, and I might actually go ahead in the next 2 days, cut the fabric and prep my test build for the bag for myself, sew that over off stream so that we can do this bag on stream. Because ultimately I have 3-ish weeks. 2.5 weeks. So bag for dad will get done. We got plenty of time. So now what the next 2.5 weeks are going to be is sewing all the things for myself. Thank you, Mithrin. Thank you, Coldrake. I appreciate the kind words for me being like, how to sew this? I'm like, pickleball bag. The other thing is it was very challenging. First off, you can find several bags that they're like, this would be great for pickleball. Most of them are giant. Most of them are like tote bags. I was like, this is silly. But I found that one. Right? 2 weeks is plenty. This is me. Considering I cut and started sewing that yesterday, Also, this weekend is a long weekend because we have Monday off for Memorial Day. So even more time. Here we go. This is the bag I bought. Or that's the pattern that I'm working off of for this. Also, Cole, I can't tell if that's like a positive, like, oh, this is plenty of time, you'll get so much made, or if it's like a negative, like you keep giving yourself too many projects. My self-imposed deadlines are absolutely the worst. I do sabotage myself with self-imposed deadlines. So I want to finish the bag for my dad, plenty of time to do that. I'm going to do a basic test build of the bag for myself. Plenty of time to do that. That will hopefully, similarly, I imagine it'll take me more time for the first build. I gotta cut everything out. I gotta figure out the instructions. We'll build it, and then assuming it'll go smoothly and it doesn't take me forever and I don't hate everything afterwards and I like what the final construction looks like. I have the final materials to do a second one. DC, press the button for a 15 stream streak. Well done, sir. I have done a better job of not having a billion projects within days of each other. Yeah, my to-do list will always be giant. I also keep, like, I go to the store. I go, like, Joann's or Lorraine's is the other one that's locally owned. I go in for one specific thing where I was like, oh, I need webbing. So, like, the webbing. And I'm like, well, while I'm here, I might as well look at fabric. And then I keep acquiring more fabric. So I picked up a couple of, like, silky things. Actually, the entire reason, it looks terrible, I don't just keep random clothes hanging around. The entire reason that I have a tank top sitting here is because I found this, like, silky, like a chiffon, I think, where it was, like, less than a yard left. They're like, we'll give you the whole thing as a remnant if you want it. And it was in the sales section. So I was like, give it to me. And I'm going, I bet I can make, if not a tank top, then, like, a camisole kind of spaghetti strap-esque thing out of this. And it'll be like a nice little what have you. I picked up a couple of twills that were also on sale because I was like, okay, let's try doing the brown pants that we just made with the pleats and stuff with a less heavy fabric, a more standard twill than that. And then I keep finding when I'm just like browsing, seeing if there's anything obnoxiously cheap, I keep finding denim in, like, the clearance section. And here's the thing, y'all. Most denim, at least at Joann, which is the most easily accessible, there's basically, like, 4 Joanns within a 30-minute drive for me, just each in a different direction. And then, like, one other fabric shop that's not a Joann within a 30-minute drive of me. So most of my options are Joann, or not Joann, and denim tends to be like $20 a yard or plus. So when I see a denim on sale, even if I don't love how the denim looks, I will purchase it anyways because denim at $6 a yard is still denim I can practice with. So you all might remember, where's the second one? I was also washing a bunch of fabric. So this is a denim. This is a lighter 7-ounce denim. I have a slightly heavier 11-ounce denim that I think is still drying in the hallway. Downside, I wash all of my fabrics. Like, I try to wash fabrics together in, like, colors. Like colors? Where did I put you? Oh, I know where I put you. But then I don't have enough places to hang all of the fabric because they're all line dry. Also denim that was on sale is a white denim with a brown embroidery of plants/flowers on them. So I found another denim. So it was really funny because I was like, oh, I'll wash all of this in one go. I was like, I'll wash all of the fabrics. And then I realized where I was like, I don't have enough places to hang all of these to line dry. And And so as a result, I washed all the light colored stuff, had it thrown around my apartment to dry overnight through part of the next day, and then I washed all of the darker fabrics. Chat with random Tuesday Lord purchases stuff online from get prior. That's the thing. And here's the thing. I have made some purchases online. I think it's kind of a twofold. Either I'm looking for something very specific that I need, like, in a short, like, oh crap, I need it for something I want to sew tomorrow. Or alternatively, I go in for something unrelated, and like this, as I mentioned, I go, oh, I'm going in to pick up webbing. Well, while I'm here, what will I stumble across? I actually have a swatch from, Spoonflower? It is not here. Where did I put you, swatch? I don't actually know where I put that one. Here we go. I did a swatch from Spoonflower. I bet you can't tell what this is meant to be. It's in their twill. Their lightweight cotton twill. Because I have one of those. It's off camera. You can't see it, but it's here. There it is. Whoops, I hit the desk leg. There is a bin of scraps. This is 95% leftover fabric from projects I have already completed. With like 5% of, I ended up with some random fabric from a friend of mine that I haven't figured out what to do with yet. And until I do, I just throw it in there. So this is just who I am. Hello, welcome in, Raiders. You've shown up at a fabulous time. Hi. Hi, Ellis. I hope you're doing well. What are you up to today? Hi, for those of you that don't know me, I'm LadyLuck34. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a variety streamer who does crafting and gaming things, and we are doing a lot of crafting things right now, which is to say we're doing a lot of sewing. I have just finished, like 15 minutes ago, a pickleball bag. This is a test build. And we're gonna make the legit thing soon. And by make it, I mean I need to cut the fabric. Hey, Petal Glum, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Hi, everyone. Yeah, actually, I feel like I see you in chat all of the time. I say you. Multiple people. My music has stopped again. I do a lot of, oh, well, if you're here to see the bag, I will legit show off the bag. So the context here is my parents are retired, and my father plays pickleball. And I made on stream forever ago a backpack. It was a test build, and we were calling it the boozy backpack because the exterior was a bunch of like summer flamingos and sunglasses with martinis and stuff. And then I had an interior lining that was a vintage fabric, or like printed to look vintage, of girlfriends who whine. And it was like something like, wine is cheaper than therapy. And so we were joking and calling it the boozy backpack, and it was all done. I was like, cool, I made a backpack, now what? What do I do with it? Because I have a million bags. And so I mailed it to my parents. This is the kind of this is just the kind of daughter I am. So, and they thought it was hilarious. My father went, I would love you to make me a bag with this same flamingo drinking fabric, and I need a new pickleball bag because I was trying to use the backpack and it's not quite size. So I was like, cool, maybe one day. That was like 2 months ago. And, then I realized that I'm going to vacation, and during my vacation I will be visiting my family, and I will be visiting 3 days after my father's birthday, and I will be returning from the bulk of my vacation on Father's Day. So I am making him his bag for a birthday/Father's Day gift, and I needed to do a test build. So, pickleball bag has mesh pockets here in the front. You have a racket pocket. And then you have a full body, or full full pocket in here for anything else with some other little pockets and things in here. Adjustable strap. You have a D-ring on each side, so you can move the strap to any preference, and it is not obnoxiously giant like a lot of bags that I was looking at when I was looking at patterns. So this was our test build to make sure that I kind of sort of knew what I was doing, and I think we are going to start cutting, and then afterwards, probably on Thursday during regular stream, we are gonna sew for real, the actual gift bag. But I've tried to get better about doing test builds first, so I can screw that up, and then make the real one. Frag Detective, I feel like this is on my Steam wish list. I have to go look. It's not, but it looks vaguely familiar. How do you like Frog Detective? This is what happens, is I had an entire plan for what I was going to sew during the first half of this year that turned completely sideways, where I'm like, I'm going to make this, I'm going to give somebody a gift. My dad can never complain at me again, because he is getting a handmade gift from me that I'm actually going to show up with in person, perfectly spaced between his birthday and Father's Day. Tonight we are drinking Mackenzie's hard cider in a black cherry. Can recommend. Very cute, silly, goofy trilogy of games. Okay. We're gonna just add it to our wish list right now. Well, I say wish list. Actually, it's $13.47 to just buy all three together. So we're just gonna add it to our cart. Problem solved. So I like it because it is a relatively low alcohol by volume. It's 5%. So it's really more flavor than, because he's gonna be rocking the bag with his Snoopy hats. Context here too, I was sewing bucket hats for both my parents. I made 3. I made a Snoopy hat. So Joanne sells a bunch of fabrics that are licensed. So it was one where it's Snoopy on his red doghouse with Woodstock right next to him, just in repeat. And then there was another, that was the exterior, and then the interior lining on the hat is black and white, looks like the comic panels. For my mother, it was a Scooby-Doo themed bucket hat. So I did a darker Scooby-Doo color on the outside and then a lighter one on the inside. I probably have photos somewhere. And then finally, because I thought it was funny, I came across a fabric that is sharks wearing Santa hats. So Christmas sharks. And it was funny to me, so I bought it and I made an extra for them just for fun. Alright, so you all might be able to see it. So here is Christmas sharks, very hard to tell. Christmas sharks. Snoopy and Woodstock, so that's the exterior. Sorry, I'm angling it because my light is up there. This was the interior, which is the panels. There's a sad photo of Susie. Oh, and here we go. And then this is the Scooby-Doo hat. So panels of each of the characters in a darker, black frame on the top. And then it's hard to tell, but it's a mint green, with little images of each of the characters and who they are, the brain, the brawn. So anyways, I sent that to them too. That was what I put in the boozy backpack when I mailed it to them, so they could open the backpack and have gifts. So anyways, we are actually going to do some more sewing tonight, I promise. Welcome in. Oh my god, so many raids tonight. This is our 3rd one. Hi, Shears. Well, what's up? It's a good thing I didn't actually plan to get too much done tonight. I'm very chatty right now. Make some noise, it's a drum raid! Hey, Shears, welcome in. Hi everyone from Shears Raid. If you don't know me, I'm LadyLuck34. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a variety streamer who does crafting and gaming things, and we are firmly in our crafting era right now. Through my vacation, at which point we will come back and still be in our crafting era, but then we will probably also be playing video games. This is a food stream featuring chatting and maybe sewing. Context here was I was late getting started because it took me longer than planned to make dinner. And I was like, alright, everything's done. I did like a tofu stir fry with spinach and stuff. And the only thing I was waiting on was for the rice cooker to be done. So I started streaming and we chatted for a few minutes. I'm like, oh, the rice cooker went off. Hold on. I need to go like actually eat my meal. So we're eating and chatting. We did a little bit of sewing. We're now chatting some more. We're probably going to swap over actually, so I can start looking at and cutting fabric, in anticipation. So, yeah, us crafters finishing projects, perish the thought. So my goal is, obviously I will finish the actual for real pickleball bag for my dad. The final, that's the gift with the boozy flamingos. I need to get that done. I have 2.5 weeks until I leave for vacation. I have a bag I would like to make for myself. I have the pattern, I have all the materials. I just need to cut the fabric and actually do that. So we will do a test build of that, and assuming it goes smoothly, I will do a actual build, because I would like to have that bag for my trip. And then I have a slew of projects over here to the side that I'd like to do. I have a linen jumpsuit I'd like to make. I have a linen dress I'd like to make. I have, this denim that I was showing you all. I have enough here to do a test build for overall shorts that I would like. So this is the test build. If you all remember, I have that denim that's like this sparkly red on the outside. That's what I'd like the final version to be, but we're going to do a test build first because I've never made overalls before. I think in the context of the fact that I'm going someplace warm and it'll be vacation, more than anything, I want the jumpsuit and the dress done, and then the others are just if I have time to get to it. But this upcoming weekend is a long weekend. I'll have 3 days to sew. I did not get a camera. Okay, I have not gotten a camera for my trip. So context here, y'all. I'm flying in. I'm going to see my family for a couple days, and then I'm going on a cruise. I'm really terrible about booking vacations, so I finally was like, screw it. I'm booking something. I'm treating myself. One of the reasons why I pick a cruise is because I do not buy the Wi-Fi package. So I get to tell everybody I will be unreachable for 7 days. Do not have an emergency. Do not call me, primarily for work. Like, y'all should be able to function for 7 days without me. And so by nature of that, what I do is I bring books. This is the first time I will I will cruise with my Kindle, so I will stock up my Kindle. So like a half of my suitcase will probably be books, Kindle, and at least one crochet project. Because what I want to do is I want to go someplace warm. So cruise and warmth. I want to be warm. I want to not have to cook for myself. And I want to be able to hang out and do whatever I want, aka read books, enjoy the sun, and crochet things without other people bothering me. I can choose my level of social interaction. I do not have to interact with others because I am traveling solo. I do this intentionally. Norwegian Cruise Line, which is the cruise that I am going on, offers solo rooms. And like they have a little solo travelers group, and you usually have like a coordinator for the solo travelers. So I can socialize and attend a couple of events with other people if I should choose. But otherwise, it's really, I'm going to go sit out in the sun, and I'm going to read books, and I'm going to crochet things, and I don't want to interact with other people. Or, well, I don't want to have to interact. Like, there's no social expectation when you travel solo in the way that it is when you travel with others. Which is not a bad thing, but that's not what I want here. And so the whole reason that context for this is I try not to have my phone on me the entire time. That does mean that sometimes I miss things, like being able to snap photos of things, but it also means that I am giving myself the space to really, truly, completely disconnect. And so I was joking around because now the instant cameras have made a comeback, the Polaroids that will print the photo and stuff. So I was like, oh, I wonder if that would be something fun to take. And so it's like, one, anybody have any preferences or recommendations or thoughts about the various instant cameras like that? Not looking for something bulky, doesn't have to be the highest end ever. And that is probably a decision I will make like the week before I leave. Of like, do I want this? Am I going to take this? I don't know. But yeah. So my intent is I want to finish at least 5 books on my trip. And I want to, if not finish, get very far along on one of my crochet projects because I need to have it done by June 28th. I become the cryptid of the water. It is my best life. Like, this is what I'm aiming for, y'all. If I could become a cryptid that lives in water, I would be okay with this. In one of my past lives, I imagined being a marine biologist. So, take that what you will of me. But yeah, no, Mithrin, you got it. Like, listen, one of the things I've had to learn, setting aside pandemic and everything for a second, one of the things that I have learned over the past 10 years, 10 plus years at this point, context here, y'all. When I finished college, I was working and living still like near a lot of family and things like that. And I love them dearly, like they're my family. But I eventually took a job out of state, and I have now subsequently continued to take jobs out of state from them. And so as a result, I have had to learn to build relationships independent of, the family kind of basis or like the people you grew up with, in the same way. Like, hey, you went through like elementary, middle, and high school together, and then you all still live in the same city kind of thing, which is not a bad thing, but like, because I chose to do that, I had to, get comfortable with being on my own. And one of the things that came out of that over time has been finding ways and comfort and being okay with spending time with myself, if that kind of makes sense. That I get just as much enjoyment and fulfillment out of popping out a lounge chair on a stretch of grass and reading a book as I do going out and doing things with my friends or going to see my family. And so it's actually become even more important, I think, because my social battery is very different post-pandemic, or post in the context of we're not in the worst of 2020 and 2021, with like lockdowns and stuff, but my social battery is very different. So part of that is being like, yeah, I'm cool with like, I go to my local brewery and post up, at a table with crochet and have a cider or two, and I'm around people, but I don't have to directly interact with them if I don't want to, and get something out of that and then go on my way. Mithrin is living vicariously through a girlfriend in Scotland right now, and trips are just such beautiful experiences. That's like, it's finding the things. Like, there are things where I will do more adventurous trips, I'm sure, later on. But especially coming out of winter, and it's been a weird winter. Like, it was 72 degrees today, and over the weekend it was like 45. Still in the worst of winter. Shears, I appreciate you, but thank you for the raid, and I hope you have good sleeps. But so like, I've learned to, I also spent a lot of both my younger years, like still, with my family in high school and everything, college, and then, later years, where everything had to be active all the time. And I think I've learned to better appreciate that you can get the same energy and enjoyment out of things that are not just being active all the time. So like when I visit my family, we bust out chairs on their deck and hang out and just chat very casually. We put music on. We read our own books. It doesn't have to be going out and doing things all the time, whether it's like active or otherwise. So there's a lot of like being okay with enjoying time on my own with the things that I like doing. and that it's no big deal if I choose to do those things in more public spaces. So it's not like the only place I can read a book is at home on the couch. I can go out to a brewery and post up at a table or on a stool at the bar and get a drink and read a book, and it's still fine. I take myself out to dinner. There's a ramen place. They know me now. Because I'll show up, usually at like an early dinner, like 5:30, by myself. They put me at like the noodle bar portion of the restaurant. I order like a rice wine. I have a book. I get myself a appetizer. I get myself ramen. I tip really well because I know I'm just like a solo person there. And also I know, like, you know, the service industry can suck. And I keep myself, I am my own company, and I'm okay with that. Do the same thing, Pirate, right? Like, try and prioritize, that's true. So, like, there are places, like the brewery I go to is dog friendly, so I can take Susie. And I think that's one of the things is I had to for a long time find a balance, because I was like, well, if I can't take the dog, then I can't go. And I don't want to have that mentality where I neglect myself in the process because the dog can't come with me, but I make sure that there's equally places and locations and things that I do where the dog can come as well. I would do that, but I don't like being outside. I appreciate you, Leaf. See, I like it. I was chatting with somebody I do a coffee chat through work with, and it was funny because I was like, 5 years ago, the last time I went on a cruise solo pre-pandemic. And it was funny because I was out on the pool deck at like 7:30 in the morning. Nobody's out there except for the early risers and the people doing Zumba by the pool. And I'm out there and I post up because it's still sunny, it's still warm, it's still nice out, but it's like not packed at the pool deck yet. And I was reading a book about, I was on a physics binge at the time. So I was reading some random physics book, and a older couple, like retirement age, walked by, stopped, and came back, and they're like, "Are you reading a book about physics?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've like been on a physics kick right now." So like, I forget what book it is. I can see the cover in my mind, and it's bright yellow. It's on my shelf in the other room. And they're like, "We used to be physics professors before we retired." So I got to have an entire conversation about physics with this older couple before they were like, okay, like, I was explaining them, like, I'm not a student. I don't have any background in physics. I'm just like mildly interested. And so I've been reading kind of like the physics for beginners books, or like physics for a casual viewer kind of thing. And they gave me a couple of recommendations. So I like wrote down a few more books, book names, and then they like went on their way, and that was our interaction. It was the only time I saw them the whole time, and it was fine. Alright, some people think that seeing someone out to dinner by themselves is bad. That's entirely wrong. It's somebody comfortable enough to just be out on their own company and be chill with it. And that's my thing. I don't know if you all remember, because it was a couple years ago. Cypher, I appreciate you. You have a good night, and I hope you get, good sleep. You all might remember, it was a couple years ago, of like, the dude who was the main character on Twitter for a day, where he was like, oh, I saw a woman out, like, reading a book at the bar, or, like, a lounge or something, and was like, it said something disparaging about it, and got completely told off, like, completely ratioed. This was before Musk and everything, and this dude's like, you know, it must be, I forget what it was. I think like the woman was like turning down people engaging with her because she just wanted to have a drink and read her book out in like a space around people, but not necessarily directly engage. Like, she wasn't there to get drunk, and she wasn't there to get picked up or to pick anybody up. And this dude did not understand that and said something, said something about it on Twitter. And of course, I don't understand how, like, one person, if there's, like, just one big account that sees it and amplifies it in such a way that it, like, picks up momentum to become viral. But Jude became the main character for a day. And in respect to him, he did eventually be like, you all have explained to me, and I have clearly misunderstood that there are more, ways in which people interact with the world and are willing to like go out, and it's fine. But like, sometimes you want that noise. Sometimes you want that, like, the people around you without the actual direct expectation of social interaction that comes with being out with friends or people you know. You want the companionship without the interaction. Maybe that's a way of putting it. And so, yeah, it's a calm, nice thing to do. Like but some people seem to perceive, some people, I think with a lot of, you know, and we see this across anything, like, oh my God, it's the way that people, we're not going into rant o'clock, everyone. So who knows if we're actually going to get any fabric cutting or anything else done tonight. We might have just done that tiny bit of sewing and this will be it for the evening. But it's the same way that people are like, oh, how can a woman be happy if she's not like married with kids and stuff? Or it's like, well, how can anybody be having fun or enjoying themselves if they go out to dinner, to a bar, to a lounge, whatever the case may be, and they don't have other people with them? And I think it's like a complete misunderstanding, both of just how limiting that like idea of what your interaction with the world is, that you can only like enjoy going out if you're going out with people. It doesn't really acknowledge the different ways in which people find enjoyment or fulfillment or whatever their appetite for social engagement is. It disregards like introverts. What, should an introvert never go out just because they don't want to interact with people or they don't get their energy from it? Like, it's a fun thing with my friends because they know, like, I will show up to things, and when I'm done, like, my social battery is done for the day, or I've gotten like as much as I want to out of whatever's going on, I'll be like, cool, I'm out. It was great to see you all. My dog's waiting on me, and I leave. I always let at least one person know that I'm leaving if we're in a big group or we're like out someplace where we're spread out. But like, I almost enjoy it more when I can go and just sit at the noodle bar and read my book and drink my wine and have an appetizer, whatever it should be that day, and my ramen. And outside of them, occasionally, like, I'm usually right in front of where they're making the ramen, so they'll be like, oh, you know, they'll ask me what I think about my bowl of ramen and how it is and stuff, but like, otherwise nobody's bothering me. They're like, cool, you do you. Let us know if you want a refill, or if you want a dessert, or if you want your check. And I can get my nice, relaxed, good dinner, whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's a weird, I think it ties into a lot of those other, like, general, like, skewed social perceptions. Societal BS. Is that the phrase you used earlier today, Elsewhere Pirate? Societal BS. Around, like, what's okay to be a happy, functioning adult in society, what your level of interaction with others has to be for that to be the case. Like, I think about it, it's something, I don't know if I've talked about it a lot on stream. When I took my first job out of state away from the rest of my family, I moved from Florida to California. It was a 2,700 mile road trip. And I remember speaking with my aunt when I told her I had accepted the job and that I was moving out of state. And her response to me is, I don't see how you can be happy doing that, but I'll support you in doing it. And I think about that a lot, where it's a lot of, anytime somebody talks about like, oh, things were different before, well, society was different. Social expectations were different. What was accessible to different people? From the perspective of like, what was it? It wasn't until like, the 70s before women could have credit cards? You know, like, the ways in which doors open and the societal expectations. Anytime somebody's like, I can't understand how you don't want to like get married and have kids, I'm like, I'm happy and fulfilled with the life I'm already living. I don't need those things to be happy and fulfilled. And I'm not particularly interested in those things. And so I think like that all, ties into this idea of like somebody who like travels solo or takes them out to dinner by themselves, or, sits in a bar and reads a book while they drink, have a drink are not okay. If it wasn't for the fact that Twitter is basically so broken now because of Musk, I'd be like, we could go find the dude and all of the absolute hilarious responses he had to him being the main character on Twitter about this. But yeah. Well, that's right. Just because it was acceptable doesn't mean it's right. I think about this anytime people talk about stuff like, left-handedness, serial killers, autism, mental illness, ADHD. Like, there's this whole string of like, oh, it's more prevalent. And it's like, well, is it more prevalent? Or one, are we willing to acknowledge it? Two, do we understand what it is and how to recognize it? And then three, has it become acceptable in the sense of it is something that can exist in the world? In a way that it wasn't before, Hey, Brian, welcome in. We're now in like random conversation and rant stage of stream. I think what I'm going to do, because obviously we've gone really long and we've not done more sewing, y'all. We did do a little sewing. So this was a food and just chatting stream with some sewing thrown in. Is I will cut everything and prep it. We will actually, I might do some of the early stages, like the first couple of things, but we will do the bulk of the construction for the next bag on Thursday. And I'll use the next 2 days to cut everything out and prep it. I will go ahead and cut out for the second bag so that if we should finish that bag on stream, I don't think we will, but we'll get pretty far now that I know what I'm doing. Should we finish it on stream, I'll have the second bag ready to go. Or the next bag ready to go. I heard a film presenting person wasn't particularly interested in something, and internet law requires me to interject my opinion. In this essay, I will. Yes, basically. I forget how we got on this. I think it was me talking about... We know, Brian. I hope you're doing well. I think I was talking about the fact that I'm solo traveling for my vacation outside of the days that I'm seeing my family. But yeah, no, Pirate knows. It's such a weird thing. And it's like others of you might. But yeah, it's such a weird thing. We were talking about the camera. This is your fault, Leaf. You got us started by talking about like, was I going to buy, did I get an instant camera? But yeah, it's really funny to me every time somebody's like, oh, you travel on your own? Like, yes. Obviously, I will consider where I'm going. I will consider what I'm doing while I'm there. I will, of course, look up any travel advisories beforehand. I will be as conscious about any of the risks and things that come with traveling by myself. But like, how's that any different than me going to dinner by myself or taking myself out to the local brewery and going to have a cider and hang out and go to the farmer's market and buy a tomato plant? Please, this is a thing I've done. Please don't ask questions. I was actually there for the food truck. I was like, I'm going to show up because the food truck they have is like one I really like, so let me go. And then while I was there, I was like, oh, they're doing the farmer's market. I'm going to buy some bread. I bought a random apple. I bought some tomatoes. And then I bought a tomato. And then while I was there, I was like, you're selling plants. And at first I thought they were like flowering plants. And they're like, oh no, they're like herbs and veggies. And one of them was little baby cherry tomato plants. And I was like, I will take this. This is not what I came here for. And then like foolishly, I'm walking around carrying like a loaf of bread and a little plant in my hands. I'm not wrong, Lee. Chat is allowed to write down their questions and bring them up next stream. Your friends don't regularly have the same hours as you do. It is one of the things that's always interesting. But like I do with the friends all the time where I'm like, sometimes I show up and I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to hang out with you. And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to people right now. So like, I'm gonna skip this one. It happens occasionally, like the weeks that I have to spend like multiple days at the office for like meetings and things where I'll be like, all right, y'all, I'm going home. Nobody talked to me for at least 3 days. They're like, do you want to hang out this weekend? No. Do not call me. Do not text. Well, no, you can text me. I can't guarantee I'm going to answer, but I'm not going to, like, socialize. I need a break from people. Oh, Leaf, because I have you here and I forgot to. Do you remember at, I think it was PAX Unplugged, I bought the little construction Pokemon? Which pirate, I'm now like 30 minutes later, you are correct. I was thinking about Pokemon. So I have a little cute Mew that has a stand that I finally put together. And then I also have a little sleeping Eevee. So these are like the little, I assume that they're similar to like Gunpla kits where it's like all the pieces you break out and then you have to construct them all together. But they're Pokemon. I have a like 300 piece Snorlax somewhere that I need to put together. I moved it from like storage to like, oh, I'm gonna put this together and I don't know where I put it. So it's somewhere in my apartment and at some point I'm gonna find it and be like, yeah, I'm gonna put this together. When I need like a nice little break, that's when I do those things. I have a little Lego-esque Mr. Mime here. This one's an amiibo. It's not one of the construction, but I have an amiibo. Mewtwo. Still need to put together the Hello Kitty Gunpla. I want a photo when it's done. For the record, I did not pick Mr. Mime. Somebody else picked him for me. And I'm actually pretty sure, to make it worse, I think it was a Mr. Mime kit from the Detective Pikachu movie. So while like all Mr. Mimes look like Mr. Mimes, I think it was like the even creepier one from or it's supposed to be the even creepier one from the Detective Pikachu movie. So it was a gift. I did not choose that one for myself. I chose the Eevee and the Mew, and I bought the Mewtwo, amiibo. There's also an Espeon plush here, but that's obviously gonna come alive and murder you in your sleep. That's fine. It'll be, what was the movie? I think from like the late 90s, early 2000s. Small Soldiers? Was that the one where all the toys come alive and they're still tiny, but they're like trying to like attack people? That's not a gift, that was a curse. In fairness, who got me that also got me a Snorlax notebook, and I think the Snorlax, 300 piece one that I can't find, but I will one day find and put together. It was like, was it? Hold on, I have to look it up now. When did that come out? 1998, I was right, it was late 90s. Classic late 90s movie. I forget what it was, like, I vaguely remember the poster art. I remember one of the toys was really creepy at the end because they like shot out half of it and you could see the animatronics. And I remember that it had a pretty solid soundtrack. These are the obscure... We're gonna talk about like... I feel like we tend to devolve into random like 90s cartoons and anthropomorphic storytelling and... So anyways, I needed to show you all because Leaf was there with me at PAX Unplugged when we were buying various kits of things to construct. And now I'm like super intrigued and I need to go find the Snorlax at some point. It's 300 pieces. It'll be much more complicated to put together. I don't know how a Snorlax is gonna be 300 pieces, but like, I'm pretty sure that's what the box said. So anyway, so this is the plan, y'all. And then we're gonna wrap up. I know we spent like 10 minutes sewing, the rest of the time talking. We are going to, I will prep everything for the bag so that we will legit, for real, I promise this time, be sewing on Thursday. We will be putting the bag together. So I'll cut out all the fabric. I will cut out the interfacing. I will iron all the interfacing to the fabric. So all we will have to do then at that point is sew. And probably stab our styles and maybe curse a little bit, but mostly sewing. I will probably also cut, prep, and potentially start sewing the bag for myself. I did buy that pattern as well, and I have all of the materials for the test bag. So the test bag will probably be off stream. I have 99% of what I need for the final bag. The only thing I'm missing currently is the webbing for the straps. Just because I want something a little more than just plain solid colors, which is all I've been able to find around. So I need to look up and order something fancier offline or online. We might end up doing a couple extra streams over the weekend, just because it will be a long weekend. We will stream as usual on Monday. I will do a stream on Monday. Maybe we'll start earlier. We'll see how the day is going. Maybe Pirate, is this the weekend that you're busy? For reasons that involve the Cipher of Tears? Will you be streaming on Monday is the question. For what I'm shocked there would be frequent wild topic shifts, and 90% of us have ADHD. I had a very interesting conversation with someone once because they're like, I forget what they said, that it was like, oh, you're a normal person. I'm like, am I a normal person, or have I built all of the framework to mask like I'm a normal person and overdeveloped certain aspects of my personality, like my obsession with organization, to deal with the ways in which I'm not organized. No streams this weekend. Monday should be on the... Okay. I'm going to throw an idea at you for maybe Monday. We'll see how we're going on sewing. Because I think what I would like to do is, I have a couple of my bins open now. I might try to pre-cut the jumpsuit and the dress so that we can just like jump in and do sewing after sewing after sewing. I know some people are going to be having lighter weekend because it's long weekend and holiday, what have you, for people, those of us in the US. I'm getting haircut Saturday afternoon, but I might pick up a random Sunday stream just to like keep chipping away at some of all of this fabric stuff. I don't think I'm going to get everything that was originally on my list that I wanted to complete before vacation, but I want to at least knock out a couple of the things. So we'll see how that goes. So we're going to end here. Couple quick things. No Mass Effect for the next couple of weeks. We are going to wrap up the month of May, be back on June 2nd, because we're going to go make friends with the Thresher Maw. Totally going to be fine. What's the worst that could happen besides death? So back on Praxis channel for Mass Effect on Sunday, June 2nd. Back here as usual, Thursday evening, I will try to plan my timing a little bit better so I do actually complete dinner on time and start stream on time. Fingers crossed. And potentially to pick up some extra streams over the weekend because it's a long weekend and I want to keep chipping away at all of my sewing things. So we are going to switch. I clicked the completely wrong thing. We're going here. This is where we wanted to end up. Real quick, couple shout outs. Thank you so much to Pirate, to Ellis the 12th, and Blood, Thread, and Shears for the raids. Pirate, thank you for resubbing. 41 months. I didn't realize it had been that long. TTRPG. I want to say gifts, but then I'm like, should it all go together? Thank you for the follow. I'm pretty sure I follow and I get excited when you post about Magic the Gathering and crap cards on Blue Sky because that's the type of nerd I am. But hello. Leaf, I promise that Susie will get all the head pads. I really appreciate the frickin' annoying Pretzel decided to stop working right now. Oh my god, so many people are on. Who have we got? Who is live? So many people. Alright, you know what? We're gonna go right into PV. Plays Inside, who is one of our fellow crewmates in the Mass Effect actual play that Pirate and I are both in, and is playing some Destiny 2 because their power is finally back. So, for those of you that are subscribers, you can use the Susie emote with #LuckyRaid. And for everybody else, any hi or hello emote works just as well. As always, everyone, please take care of yourselves. I appreciate all of you hanging out and keeping me company over the past couple hours for a tiny bit of sewing and a whole lot of talking and maybe a little bit of food. Please be safe, be healthy, happy crafting, happy gaming, and I hope to see you back here on Thursday evening where we're actually legit going to be sewing another pickleball bag. Have a good one all.